God. Well, I can't start it off like that this time.
Oh, yeah.
I can't even start off like that.
Preaching house, man.
I'm gonna redo it. God dang! God dang! Yeah, you back again, man. Hey, man, we here in the podtrap, man. I am the Chuck, and I'm here with my people.
Keep it great.
Yeah, it's your boy J.O.
Yes, sir. We got another one. Got another good one for y'all butts today.
But
You understand me? I'm gonna be trying my dangness to keep it PG, real PG, man. Cause y'all know my mouth fly a little reckless now, so we gonna try to get it right today, man. We got a guy in the house, man. If y'all missed the morning service, don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it if you did that, cause guess what? We bring the church to y'all today.
yes, sir.
You understand? Without further ado, man, I'm gonna introduce my guy, Pastor Alan F. Bowen.
Yes, sir.
Is live in the podtrap today.
Yes, sir.
Welcome, big dog. Yes,
Glad
sir.
to be here.
Yes, sir. How you been, man?
Man, everything's all good.
Things all good. It's nice to meet you, man. You know, I think everybody can need a little God in their life in today's time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
So, but first out the gate, Pastor.
First out the gate, first though.
First out the gate.
I want to just say this. We can't limit him to just being a pastor.
Oh, no, we what?
Yeah, this guy here, you know, you basically call him a renaissance. You know what I'm saying? I like,
Track star.
yeah, coach track star.
I love this.
Coach basketball star. Was a basketball star. His daughter, see, y'all don't understand that his kids is the ones. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. His daughter, Brutech, right?
Yep.
Brutech, one top scorers. Brutech history, right?
But she was actually the top defensive specialist at BTEC, but she also won the state championship in track and field in 10th grade.
Okay.
Who's an athlete?
Yeah.
That's the oldest one. And the youngest one was state champion in 11th grade, and my son was a national champion probably about the 9th grade.
So whole family ran track.
So everybody failed. so we saw what we do. We know we gonna be last. You know what I'm saying? Everybody get down.
Well, some jump, some different. You know, the track and field is 21 categories there.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
you can't get baby girl to run, but she'll throw that shot put.
Okay.
I remember we did that in school.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I made it that far.
Joe, man, you almost set me up for failure, man. You told me we was having no regular old pastor.
You know nobody's regular.
No, this guy is not
Man,
real.
you got a super athlete over there.
Yeah,
Producing
man.
super athlete children.
Yeah,
Man,
man.
you just said we got
And your
pastor.
son, upcoming pastor too, right?
No. Well, I think it's on him, but he was a drum major at Tuskegee. He's done a number of things. Not only then, you know, they call me Coach Dad. So I've coached over 40 state championships at Blue Tech. A number of other kids. I don't know how many I've sent to college. Just by teaching the actual sport and discipline of the sport.
Yeah. You're a defensive specialist now. I was just saying before the show, I still got bruised reels from the time I ain't played against him in 20 years.
Don't come in the paint if you don't want to get the elbow.
Oh, man, put them elbows of Christ on y'all.
Yeah, he's on Christ.
Y'all know he had, you know how they say he had wrestled, what's his name? What the guy he wrestled in the Bible?
You know?
I'm pretty
sure I don't know.
He changed it to Israel or something like that. But he said he wrestled and broke his hip now. You know, so he was an athlete himself.
Well, I want you to just come on in Bible study on Wednesday night.
So I can learn that
That's right. That was in the church now.
Y'all still in the same spot, right?
Same spot, 1200 South Bowl Street, St. Mark Baptist Church.
Okay, then, okay. Well, check this out, man. We're going to start it off with a little game, right? This one called Rapid Fire.
Rapid fire.
Now, these questions, when we ask them, try your hardest to ask them with a 1 to 2 word answer and leave it right where it's at, right? All right, I'm going to kick it off. How many kids you say you got?
3.
3. Okay, so out of them 3 kids.
Well, 3 biological kids, but my wife would say I have probably 400 or 500.
Okay.
I know,
Coach.
we
Yeah, Coach. Yeah, we're gonna do See, I want to
I'm one of the first 500. I don't want to answer the question. I want to get right.
Produce.
So yeah. So out of them 3 kids, which one of them is your favorite? Got a lot of athlete kids now.
I do 3.
Out of the 3, I really don't have a favorite. Each one is special in their own right.
Okay.
So it's kind of hard because each one brings something different to the table that makes sure me and my wife and the grandparents.
Okay.
So it's kind of hard to just pick one when you got 3 that all are part of it.
Yeah. Okay.
I take
It's pretty political. It's pretty political.
They get me in trouble.
Got 3 cameras rolling, man. You answer right.
So my next question is whether you've been there or not, your favorite place in the world.
My backyard.
Okay.
Okay. Man, look, you ain't got to tell me. You know, little you know it or not, you inspired a lot of people. You know, but what I want to ask you is, who inspired you?
Actually, who inspired me was my mom, being a single parent.
We're gonna come back.
We're gonna leave right now.
We'll come back to
Break
it.
it down. All right. So, what's the first thing you like to do when you get home from work?
Sit down.
And I would like to ask, what do you hate about people the most? Like, what about people grinds your gears?
Fake people.
Yeah,
Not authentic. Always putting on the show for somebody else and don't know who they are.
Hey, but between me and you and the other 1,000 people watching, there's no right or wrong answer. What is the greatest era in American history to you, to your own personal opinion? The 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s.
Or the greatest era.
Yeah, greatest era.
In my lifetime, since I'm born in 71, I think the 80s were a different beast. Simply because the 70s we were coming out of integration and we had a lot of new things that were introduced to us. In the 80s, we saw integration actually came, and though we were still separate, we were able to grasp hold of some of the things that we never were able to grasp hold, that our parents were able to grasp hold to. The 90s, we got freedom and we began to run away with it with no discipline. So I said the 80s, we were able to accomplish a little bit more with our footsteps. But in the 90s and 2000s, we just got comfortable.
Yeah. See, the 80s were all the greatest things happened. You know, the greatest people born, you know. And you know,
with you being a coach of many kids, right? So, you also was an athlete yourself. So, I want to know, who is the GOAT NBA player to you?
The GOAT and my favorite are 2 different things. So when you talk about the GOAT, you know, you can't compare Kobe to LeBron. You can't compare LeBron to Dr. J. You can't compare Magic Johnson to him because they all play different positions. So if you were looking at just longevity, LeBron has done so many different things. He brings so many different things to the table. However, Kobe and Mike was going to eat. They was going to eat. They was going to eat. I saw LeBron take a team from nowhere to a place.
Cleveland.
Not one time, but 2 or 3 times. And so when you look at, I'm a Dr. J fan. You know, I think he was the GOAT, but the era that he came through, the ABA to the NBA, he was in his prime in the ABA. So you take him to the NBA, he was still doing great things, but it's a different era. So you can't compare Larry Bird and Robert Parrish and all those guys to KG.
hold on, see, one name I didn't hear you say.
Who's that? AI?
Michael Jordan.
I didn't say Mike.
He said Mike.
What you say?
Yeah.
Oh, he said Kobe and Mike gonna eat. Yeah, he said Kobe and Mike
You
gonna
can't
eat.
compare.
Yeah.
Kobe was trying to emulate everything that Mike did.
Yeah.
You know, so when you compare the 2, you're comparing the same person. They're just in different eras. You know, that Kobe's game, you watch how he walked, you watch how he talked, everything was patterned after Mike, in my opinion. You know, LeBron brings something totally different. He's big, he's fast, he can play. What I respect most about him, the year that they played San Antonio, and point guard Tony Parker and Tim Duncan in the same game, and he didn't back down from it.
And Diallo Smith. All of them.
Yeah, so when you look at what he brings offense and defensively, now the real GOAT is Kareem for what he was able to do through his entire career. You know, nobody's able to do. You know, they changed the game from the skyhook just because of they couldn't stop him. Then you go back and look at what's the real GOAT? My man said he slept with 10,000. Will.
That man, that's crazy, man.
You know, Will was so unstoppable that he made them change the game as well. But he was playing in the integrated era where he came in. He's a big black guy that was a track athlete. That was a base. He was multi-sports, and so you know you can't really compare greatness, but all of them are great in their own aspect.
See, we do this every time.
That's what I'm saying.
Every
though,
time.
You've been a defensive specialist. How do you feel about the game today, though?
The game has actually changed because it's offense sells tickets, and so if I don't know if y'all remember Raja Bell, he was a defensive specialist that was shutting down some of the stars, so they got him out of the league. You know, so when you look at who I love the most as far as I've had in my game, Gary Payton, he brought something to the game, but because he played offense and defense, the game today is different. It's all offense, and you can't shoot that bow like I shoot. The way today you can't hand check. You know the different things that you can do today versus a couple of years ago. The game is different.
A lot different.
True. You got Joel Embiid, the most dominant player, but he's the softest player at the same time.
Shoot more jumpers than they on the shooting guard.
Play like
See, y'all
Raheem.
do the same thing. See, we're supposed to let you answer your GOAT question,
It's
and
hard to say.
then y'all know, fall into the trap every time, Joe.
Oh, my fault.
Yeah, fall into it every time. But the next question I would like to ask is, would you give to the church or give to the homeless?
I give to both. I give to the community. That's the most important thing.
Then you don't get never on that.
When you say give to the community, what you don't realize is when I came from my first year of college, I saw that nobody in my community was actually finishing high school. Nobody was going to college. They were still going straight to the jail. So my thing was, I went in my pocket. I was only making $3.10 an hour at National over there at Lagoon Park. But I promised those guys, and you'll know some of these names. Tyrone Rogers, used to be the coach over at Lee High School when he played with the Cleveland Browns. It's a bunch of those guys that we had on that team that were from my community that, yes, I give to the church, and I actually ended up sponsoring the church team to give back to the community. And so you give to the church, that's, tithe. Can I talk about that? Tithe is Old Testament. That actually lines you up to be able to go into where he talks about the New Testament, whereas it says God loves a cheerful giver. And it also says, give and it shall be given, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. So if I'm always giving, whether it be the church, whether it be my community, whether it be the homeless, I'm always going to be the recipient to what the Spirit says, that if you give, and it shall be given. So do I give on the homeless, or do I give to the church? If the church is doing what it's supposed to be doing, you're doing both, because they're supposed to be out there for the need.
Yeah.
So
True. One I want to go back touch on is you say your favorite place is your backyard. Why is that?
because a man's home should be his castle.
Right.
If you can't find peace nowhere else, you ought to be able to come home. For a black man, we catch it in the world.
Right.
I've been all over the country. I've been all over the world. I love Jamaica and I love those places. But what I see in those places, I see people that have peace without a lot of this right here. You know, they don't have all that access like we have in America. So when I come home, I pat in my backyard. I can sit on the backyard and I ain't worry about nobody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I want my TV up there. I want to sit back in the back on my TV. If I just want to sit in the dark, I ain't worried about nothing. That's my place.
Right. For sure.
I want to go back to the greatest inspiration you said, your mom. Elaborate on that for a small bit.
So my dad died 2 days before Christmas when I was 3 years old. My mom was the oldest out of 10, the only one that went to college for a long period of time, right? And so most of my uncles went straight to the military when they got out. So who showed me how to change oil, change tires, and do the various things. She was a business owner. She took care of all her brothers and sisters and her mom. So what I learned from her was something that nobody really can take, can teach me. And that is, love your family and do what you need to make sure that your legacy is passed on. So everything I do right now, I don't do for necessarily my kids, because I've instilled in my kids what they need to survive. So I'm trying to create a legacy. So I work right now for my grandkids, which are not here yet.
Right. Okay. I like that.
And you said you hate fakeness about people. Because people is not authentic nowadays. They want to follow. So tell us about that. Like, have you came across like somebody try to play off on that on you?
Worst thing we can do is actually try to emulate somebody else. Each one of us are fearfully and wonderfully made. That's what the Bible says. And so if everybody has their own gift, why I'm trying to be like somebody else? So what you find is a lot of fake people that do a lot of things to get in position, and they're not really who they really say they are. And so I'd rather know who you are. I don't care if I've dealt with some Confederate flag wearing folks that I'm more comfortable with knowing where you are versus you putting on a show with me. Because the spirit of discernment is always going to show me. And one thing I learned is, if somebody shows you that they're a snake, then they're a snake. They might change. And in order to change, they shed skin. They got to shed skin to be a bigger snake. So I'm comfortable in your space with who you are versus putting on the show with me. Because all of us have growth. We all got to come from somewhere to get to somewhere. So, as long as I see growth, I can deal with you.
You know what? See, that's one of the things that I kind of pride myself on, being myself around whoever. It don't matter who it is, I'm gonna be me. Some people ain't gonna like it. Some people,
unfortunately,
some people ain't gonna like it. You gotta be yourself, baby. Hey, man.
I'm gonna move it on, man. Next segment called Focus Point. I want to ask you, man, like, you originally from here?
From Mount Meigs, Alabama, which they call it Pike Road and Chantilly Park and all that. But Mount Meigs is the black township, just like Raw is. And anytime you see the European culture comes in, they will wipe out the history of anything that we have. But that was a black township, so I still call it Mount Meigs.
Right.
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
Right. All right, so tell us a little bit about Mount Meigs when you was a kid, and how did it help shape you to who you are today?
Well, Mount Meigs, I grew up around my cousins,
right,
in the country, on a dirt road. We rode bikes all day. We played outside all day. We didn't have no air conditioning. We had a fan in the window. We sat on the porch when it rained, and you played up under the tree. You put with the basketball. The greatest thing we could have was a ball. And if that ball that we knocked the cover off the baseball was down the thread, you took something to wrap it up with. You were creative. Yeah, at the same time, we grew up around like a farm. Actually cotton and soybean and corn fields right around our houses. So you learn how to actually live by the land as well. So that's Mount Meigs has kept me humble. We didn't come to town, as we say, a whole lot. You ate from what was actually in the freezer. And what was in the freezer is what you picked, like shelling them peas all summer. Grandma put them in the freezer. So I learned how to, broccoli, I didn't have broccoli until my wife gave it to me, cooked it for me when we were married. Cauliflower, all that stuff. Give me some black eyed peas, cornbread. Give me some groceries.
Groceries. You know what they call grocery these days, man. You gotta say other stuff, man.
I feel you.
She's so funny, man.
He threw you off then.
Yeah, he did.
That's my specialty, baby.
So you've been an athlete. So you went to the Olympics?
No, I had my wife in kids said that, you know, it's going to be in the States in the next Summer Olympics. We said that that's something that we're going to put on our bucket list.
Okay. Okay.
I've been to the Junior Olympics. All of my kids, like I said, are 9-time All-American. So I've been to the Junior Olympics. Matter of fact, I'm
9-time All-American.
yeah, my son is a national champion, so I have the brass, you know, in the house, but it's the Junior Olympics. There's a big difference between the Junior Olympics and the actual Olympics.
Right. Is this the first time it's going to be in the States?
No, it was 92. It was here.
Well,
Yeah,
it was in Atlanta like
it was in
recently, like probably like 2000 something like
I
that.
think it was 92 or 93, somewhere like that. It was here. And I think in '84 it was over in Los Angeles. But I think it's going to be in Los Angeles this next.
Yeah, I heard that.
Hey man, you was sick recently, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know with you being a spiritual guy,
Mm-hmm.
how was that experience when you going through that and you know trying to keep your faith and all that at the same time?
So, I was a business owner. I was doing well in business. You worked for me a little while. I was doing well, very well. 2015, I was diagnosed with cancer, as well as sarcoidosis. So I went from actually being trained in some of the fastest athletes and now running them at 45 years old to in 3 weeks, I can't have this conversation without being out of breath. And so when the doctor diagnosed me, he told me, he had to tell me 3 times because he didn't understand my reaction was different. And after the 3rd time, you know, I had to tell him, it's like, you know, if God trusts me to actually go through this trial, I trust him. He said, I'll be with you always. The first verse that came to my mind was Psalm 23 and 4. It says, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. That means you can't be putting no comma, no exclamation, well, no periods, and no exclamation points where there's a comma. It says, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'll fear no evil. I was good because now we had a diagnosis versus where I had no answers. And so again, if he trusts me to go through my little trial and tribulation, my faith walk is, can I trust him to be there with me?
All right. So, when did you know or feel like you was gonna take the route of being a pastor and being so heavily involved in religion and all that?
See, I grew up in the church.
Right.
You know, we didn't go every Sunday as far as church, because back then we had church on 1st and 3rd Sundays, because the pastor had 2 or 3 churches, and we couldn't afford to stay open. So you had Sunday school every Sunday, but you might have had church on 1st and 3rd or 2nd and 4th. I didn't have a choice of not going to church.
Right.
My mama made me go to church. My grandma made me go to church. I learned the various positions in the church, and I was put in the position. I was a shy individual coming. Man, you couldn't get 2 words. I remember saying the Easter poem, sitting up there about to shake out of my seat. But I didn't know that church prepared me to actually be able to stand on any stage with anybody and not be intimidated. So I've been in the same boardrooms with Fortune 500 companies and could walk in and hold my own because of I understand who I am. I ain't perfect, but I strive and press towards the mark.
But see, lately it's a lot of technology lately, man. With that technology, becoming a lot of information that we didn't have at first. You know, with you being a preacher, how do you feel about all this new information coming out about different parts of the Bible and Jesus and all this, or have you not paid attention to any of it?
Oh yeah, if you don't study, you can't show yourself approved. So you have to understand the history of the Bible as we know it, and what we think, quote unquote, is the King James Version being the only 66 books. There are more than 66 books. There are 88 books. However, to reteach in America is different. How you really understand some of this, you got to leave America and go to different countries. You got to go to different places. You understand there's a whole different history or perspective than we have here in the United States.
Yes,
but our issue is trying to reteach history. Y'all see how I put that? His story.
His story.
Now, the problem that we have, and I said something in the message today, the problem that we have is we want to put God in a box. When I say put him in the box, we see what color he is, but he's bigger than the color. We want to see what gender he is, he's bigger than the gender. Your spirituality has to be outside of the box, because if we look at the illustrations of the imagery of Jesus, then we have to understand is the number one thing we're supposed to do is be fruitful and multiply. We all are supposed to produce. And whether you believe that it's illustration, he's real or not, you got to believe that there's a higher power. And if you believe that there's a higher power, you look at the Bible, you look at the illustrations that were left as examples of how we can be working in the supernatural versus in our natural.
Yeah, man. Then look, I've been doing a little. I've read like. I'm glad you're here, because it's two verses I want you to clean up for me. Okay, the first verse is when you first open the Bible. I think it's like chapter 1, verse 8. 11, up. When it says, "Let us create man in our image."
Father,
You
Son, and Holy Ghost.
the Father, Son, and Holy. But this before Jesus and all this. Now this is the beginning of the Bible. So that what he was talking about? The Father, Son, and Holy Ghost?
All created as one. Let us make. So you got to understand that when you say prophecy is foretelling something. And so they were all together as one. You're supposed to be able to be, watch this, Father, the Son, and at the same time the Holy Spirit. You're supposed to be able to produce. If you're not producing, what you doing? What you really doing? Notice it says he created, right? Create, you gotta produce. Let there be light. He spoke the very words and things came into existence. The power of life and death is where? In your tongue, right? And so we gotta speak these things as though they were. That's what the Bible says. And so when it says, let us create man in our image, he's saying that, look, everything we're supposed to be doing should have something that produces. Black people are the most creative people on this earth. You can throw anything at us and we will stand up and produce. We'll come up out of it. So when you look at the children of Israel, that might be where you're going. You look at the original, it got to be us. It can't be nobody else. It can't be nobody. We ain't
With that
nobody
being said, the other verse I want to ask you about. Okay, growing up in the church, I was always taught that Adam and Eve was the first man and woman. Okay, and Cain and Abel was their son. Okay, so when Cain killed Abel, they say God came back and noticed that Cain killed Abel. You know, that first part kind of threw me, because I was under the impression that God is all knowing, all seeing. So he ain't know until he came. Okay, do what the Bible says. So he came, he seen Cain kill Abel, and he said he was finna bang. Cain's very response was, the people out there. What people you talking about?
So you got to understand the imagery that's out there. All right. So there are scholars that says Adam and Eve representing the group. There are scholars out there that say there's aliens out there. I mean, y'all have heard of that, right? And so when we look at the Bible as a history, then we tend to look at it as possibilities that happen. You're trying to put them in the box. What's the illustration of Cain and Abel? What does it mean to you?
The meaning of Cain and Abel is, you know, going against you and put go against your brother. Man killed your brother, you know. But that was like the first evil thing that was done, right?
Cain killed his brother. Where did he kill his brother out of? Trickery and jealousy.
Jealousy.
It's more, but that's he's talking about the murder.
First evil thing, or
that was the first evil act.
Yeah, he's talking about the act because you know, you look at how the devil tricked Eve. You can talk about various things. He's specifically talking about. Sometimes we look so deep again that we handcuff God.
Yeah.
Now, it goes on a little further, says, "Am I my brother's keeper?"
Yeah.
Isn't that right? So it's about relationships.
Yeah.
You should not don't box them in. It's about relationship. I always got your back. You know that, right?
Yeah.
So why would I set you up to get something that, watch this, it belongs to both of us? Isn't that what it is all about?
Yeah.
He wanted his heir to. So in the end, when you read the Bible, what does it speak to me about? You know what I'm saying? Not that, okay, this happened, I believe, what is it actually saying? What is the illustration of the imagery that actually he's leaving us to help better our lives so that we can produce and create things that we can be proud of?
Right.
You know? See, I understand the direction you going with it, but I was just looking at it like words is words. If it's written down.
So watch this, words. There's 6,000 letters in the Hebrew and Greek alphabet, but it's only what 28 in the English.
Yeah.
So when we break down words and how King James, you gotta remember now when he got it, he took it in the Bible. There's an intertestament period that the Bible supposedly disappeared.
Yeah.
God didn't speak for 400 years. When have you known that God didn't speak when He spoke in the beginning?
That's another one of my complaints. Like, it was a lot of prophets back then. Everybody had a book. Everybody had something to say. Now these days, it's just.
Well, the Bible is written in 40. The Bible is written over from the King James version. Is written by 40 different writers, right? Inspired by the Holy Spirit to write down and record these things that we might be better. Right? Old Testament is written for us to keep us in line, give us boundaries to where we can't do nothing else. But just like, okay, you got kids, don't touch that stove. It's hot. You as a kid gonna do what? Touch that stove. And when you touch that stove and see it's hot, what's gonna happen in your mind?
She told me I touched that
She told me I touched that stove. I should have listened. And so the guidelines are now set in place. The Old Testament Exodus, when you talk about Exodus, the 10 Commandments, right? If you follow the one, goes back to Cain and Abel.
Y'all should not kill.
Well, let's go a little further than that. Love your
Neighbor.
Love your neighbor. The golden rule, right? If I love you, I ain't got to worry about stealing. I ain't got to worry about killing. I ain't got to worry about none of that stuff. But if I just put it to one line, and I look at it how it's actually given to us, man, I can't believe that. Look, thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit. You're looking at all these various things. Okay, I got so many rules I can't keep up with. There's 600 rules, or over 600 rules in that Old Testament, and we can't follow the one.
Too many rules.
If we follow the one, then we ain't got to worry about the rest.
But you know what though, as a man, you know, everybody had their own form of discernment. You feel what I'm saying? And I was like, you know, I did my research and looked at everything. I just figured like if the 10 Commandments is like something, it kind of like if you look at all of them, it's basically like laws. If like what you'll do and go to jail for, but the 10 Commandments is put there for to spook you in your mind. It's a mental tactic for thou shalt not kill. But if you do the research, Christianity was built off murdering.
Okay, so I thought that's where you're going.
Yeah, it was built off murdering. And, so I'm telling you,
one of the problems is that some of the children of Israel were supposed to, when they were going to battle, they were supposed to kill all of those things, all of those enemies that they were against. But the problem is they allowed some of those enemies that were worshiping pagan gods to live. And so now you have infiltration when you had intermingling with different races or different nationalities or ethnicity. And so when you look at all that, you talk about being equally yoked. Use that in the discernment, equally yoked. What is equally yoked? Does that mean that we in here 50-50? Or does that mean that I got a bad day? All right, I come home, I've been beat up. Does that mean that my wife just gonna give me 50? Well, I ain't got 50 to give right now. The world is beating me up. All I got is 20. So equally yoked means that my wife got 80.
yeah.
Some days I ain't got but 10%, or I got 90%. And then, well, she got 10%. And so the equal is that we're gonna work together to band this thing, to build this thing a kingdom in our own.
Yeah, he did so. Yeah, he didn't know. They good advice.
Yeah,
No,
Do you hear?
I don't see it.
But do you hear?
No, I gotta come with 100% every day. If I don't come with 100%, I'm through.
But it's like that in relationships in general. Marriage is the institution of the bride of the church, of him coming back. But this thing is, you gotta understand is it's about relationship. That's why the cross is vertical and horizontal. It's about relationship with God, your higher calling, or your higher power that you believe in, and how you treat your fellow man.
Yeah. Oh, I can't believe it too, how you treat people.
Well, I want to ask you, man, like I said, being a former athlete, you probably still out there balling now. I don't know.
My knees.
Oh, you gave it up now.
You don't see the ice on the glove?
They beat me. I still get double teamed, but I ain't deal with the young folks. No, I'll let y'all still do that.
But being a former athlete, man, and you know, dealing with so many athletes, and, how do you like manage before you became a pastor and trying to integrate, you know, what you are now with athletes or people in general? Like, how do you integrate that together?
When God looks at me, he don't see what I see in the mirror.
Right.
What do you think he see?
Image of yourself.
Well, sometimes we don't see the image of himself. We have to be real.
Yeah.
Because we all man, we all have sinned and fallen. So, but he sees the potential in me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I look at what I've been successful coaching for over 30 years and in my business, I look at something for where it is. And I just want to see growth.
Right.
I want to see potential. My job when I was coaching was that, okay, here we are. I ain't got to have the star. Matter of fact, I don't want to have the star. Because the star always think they're there.
Oh, yeah.
I want to have the kid, I can have the worst team and we going to fight.
Right.
We're gonna go to battle. You might beat us, but you gonna know you've been through a war with my team.
You lying.
Good old dog fight.
And so, you know, the scripture says that at the end, he says that I want to hear that I fought a good fight.
Yeah.
You know, that's all I can ask for. You ain't gonna win every battle. That's impossible.
Yeah.
And so you're gonna take some hits, and so you gotta look at wherever you are, and you want to see a person pressing toward the mark, getting better every day. You ain't gonna get there. If you already there, you're gonna need me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
True facts.
So, I know you kind of went through it or whatever, but like, what will be the end goal for Mr. Allen?
End goal is that I leave a legacy for my grandkids and great grandkids and everybody that has, this Friday I got so many calls from the kids in Tuskegee just calling, checking on me, just saying, hey coach, how you doing? We just running by you. We appreciate what you did for us. You know, we appreciate you. I respect you, what you did for me. I see young people in the street that have their own families. Like, man, I learned so much from what you taught us, not just in sports, but what you taught us in life, how to be a man.
Yeah.
How if you teach us something, you held us accountable for whatever you taught. You don't need. I'm the coach that you don't want to come to practice, come in. You've been to practice every day, you know what to do. You ain't got to be the best athlete, but you get in there and you learn what we try to do, and you understand what we're trying to do, I'm going to put you in the game. You come to practice every day, you should be able to get in the game. Nobody should sit on the bench all day. Everybody should have some kind of gift that they can give and, watch this, create in somebody else. So, you look at the four of us here at the table, each one of us have a gift. And that gift should make us stronger, not weaker.
Right.
But it calls staying in your lane, though.
Yeah.
Understanding what your role is.
Mm-hmm.
The football team, you know, you can't have one quarterback out there at one time.
Yeah.
Right? You can put another quarterback out there on the field, but he ain't playing quarterback. He might be scat back, halfback. You know, he might be in the, whatever he's doing. He's got to play the role that he's put on in the game to play.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then there's 11 positions on one side. But the center can't be the wide receiver.
Yeah.
When he check, if he's going to do that, he's got to check in that says that, look, I'm checking in as the tight end or whatever. So if you know how to play your roles, you know.
Yeah, you're right.
Go far.
Speaking of the generation wealth and the grandkids and things, man, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on these days, man. A lot. You know, I'm pretty sure by the time you have grandkids, gonna be even more stuff going on. What I want to ask you is though, what is some of the stuff going on right now that have you like, damn, man, what the hell is really going on?
And that's shocking me. We've strayed away from the connection of our spiritual being, of who we are. We've taken the European culture, has always been one that has stolen and killed in order to prosper. That's what capitalism is about. We build our country off the back of somebody else.
Yeah.
So the thing that actually is like, instead of being who we are, we're trying to be like the European culture. And we're not designed to be like that. And so once we stop following, our music has been there's no creativity for real. All you gotta do is just get a beat and throw some lines in between and give it a hook, and that's it. You can't, all of the positive raps from the 80s, Public Enemy, KRS-One, all those people right there, they took the mics away from them because it was easy to promote killing.
Bullshit.
Yeah, so we buy into that. When we stop buying into that and actually build our communities again, then we'll see the power of who we are. We should have our own schools. We got taxpayer dollars we're paying taxes for.
Man.
We should have our own grocery stores. We should have our own, matter of fact, we should be living by the land.
You know why all the tax money going
Was
overseas?
Oh yeah, the tariffs and all.
Yeah, they send everything overseas now, man. You know.
Into the prisons.
Yeah, they send everything overseas, man, for the war.
You talk about the prisons. We have $7,000 goes to our school system for our kids, but $30,000 goes to our county jail.
Yeah.
It goes to our prisons.
They just spent like 1.4 billion on a new prison now.
Too long, ain't it?
But they're setting us up because we won't study
Yeah.
who we are, and so we don't believe. We play checkers when the world is playing chess. We react for all of that access, and by the time we actually figure out what's going on, they own something else.
Yeah.
European culture only give you so much, and you're supposed to be happy. But the great thing about being in America is once you figure out that, yeah, I can't get up, pull up from my bootstrap and go get it, can't nothing really stop you. When we learn wealth, we learn entrepreneurship, when we learned about some properties, cause they ain't making no more land. We rather go buy a car, and I sell Mercedes, so I don't mind you buying a car, but I'll tell you in a minute, don't go buy a car, buy you a piece of land with that $100,000. Because now you can borrow off that land and still have the land and make money off of it.
You know what they say one of the biggest lies is right now going around is that we overpopulate. It's so much uncharted land right now. We got unnecessary uncharted land in our state.
But you got to understand where that comes from. You know, even with the thing about abortion and all that, that's not really what they're after as far as killing children. You got to understand the structure of they want to control the population because as we intermingle, and we use it like that, with the races, the minority right now is not us.
That's what I was saying. We no longer the minority.
But when we understand that means that there's power in our voice because we are the majority. People of skin of color are the people of the majority.
Yes, sir.
But yet we're not in positions to use our creativity. You know, we fall for anything because we don't do our study of who we are.
Right. So go ahead. So I want to ask you, man, like, you know, being a man of the cloth and all that, are preachers and pastors and stuff not allowed to have fun? Like,
Oh, I have fun.
Oh, let me have fun.
You know, we like to put a double standard in our fault. Anybody that allows themselves to be put in the box. I'm going to the game. I'm shouting. I'm talking just as much trash as anybody. If you know me, I'm a trash talker. I'm an Eagles fan. You're a Cowboy fan. We got problems. Every time I'm talking from the pulpit, God, Scripture says, John 10 says that the devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy. He says, but I have come that we might have life and life more abundantly. You can't put me in no box.
Right.
Do I make mistakes? Yes. But you're not gonna put me in the box. I'm only here I'm on borrowed time.
Right.
If you think that I'm not gonna go see my boys Goody Mob and Outkast,
Right.
we got something. You think I'm not? Are we supposed to go see my daughter bought tickets to see Usher? I'm like, okay. I ain't really trying to go see Usher, but you put Earth, Wind, and Fire, and you put, you know, some of the old school. Yeah, I'm going to see that. You know, I think we should enjoy the time that we have here and make memories.
Yeah.
One of the things that the doctor told me as far as when I sold my business, I made a decision to sell my business, said, you got to make a decision whether you're going to be a memory or you're going to make memories.
Yeah.
You know? So because I'm a man of the closet, that means I can't make memories.
So when you just said you gotta say it one more time, you gonna make memory?
You're gonna be a memory because the stress kind of agitates the cancer.
Okay.
And so either you're gonna be stressful or you're gonna make a memory or be a memory. You gotta walk away from some of those things that stress you out.
Okay. I
Telling
got
the
you.
business, you gotta worry about this.
Yeah, I was worried about how my business was doing fine, but it could not hold without me being the main man.
Right.
It was still growing and it was stressing me out. We was operating in 5 states from South Carolina to Mississippi. I got small business of the year in the state of Alabama, 2014. I get cancer in 2015. And so we tried to hold the business we held it to 2018. But the thing is, again, it was stressing me out because it was growing. And I had not only my family dependent upon me, I had other families dependent upon me.
Right. Okay. Well, y'all got anything else?
No.
But we're gonna move on to the next segment.
Yes.
Which is facts or yes.
Facts or yes, my good sir. Hey, I look, you listen to wine. Look, they got wine in church, man. Don't do that. Y'all have wine in church every Sunday. Don't act like you still Sunday.
But with this game, we're gonna ask you a series of questions, and if you get it right, I guess we're taking shots of water today.
Yeah, I got my water. Y'all get what you
It's
do.
not the holy water, but
Hey, man, my woman makes some most blessings like quit making holy water.
but we're gonna ask you a series of questions. If we get it right, the host take the water shot, and if you get it wrong, you take the water shot.
Alright.
But we ask you a question you do not want to answer. You say yes,
So yeah.
and then you take the water shot.
Alright. So we constructed a list, man. We put the list together of people, right? And with this list, you gotta rank it from 1 to 5. 1 to 10. You know what I'm saying? They gotta be the most important on the list
To the least important.
to
They can
some
kiss,
under the
they
table.
gonna say they can kiss your ass if they
Some
call.
under the
Well, you
table.
know he said, even if you're on the bench, you still gonna make play the team.
Yeah, you get the game.
But he also
You
said
get the game.
if somebody don't come to practice, so
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So you gotta
If
throw
they don't
it.
practice enough, they should know how to play the game.
So this the list. How about, I forgot to ask, how many brothers and sisters you got?
No.
You know child?
My dad died when I was 3 years old.
Okay, I got you. So with this list, we got your mom, we got your kids. You got 3 kids. We gonna group them together. Group them together. We got your mom, your kids, we got your wife. Short list, huh?
The other
And we got the pulpit, the church,
Ooh,
the church. Yeah, throw the church in there.
Mm.
So that say it again, say the list again, so that you know.
You see it.
Okay.
Look, you say your dad hurt.
This the list you gotta rank from most important to least important. You got mom, dad,
No.
kids.
You
No.
put that on there?
Mm.
Okay, mom, kids,
Church wife.
church, wife. Is it? From least, most important to least important.
Oh, wife is most important.
Okay, wife is most important. Cause y'all still married, right?
No,
Okay.
I don't want nobody else to rub my back. See?
Okay, that was yeah. Hey, you see what I'm saying? This man, see, hey, he know what he doing, man.
Nobody will put that.
My kids are important because that's what I produce and that's what I'm responsible of.
You only get one mom, no?
My mom is next,
Yeah. In the church that.
and the church is last.
Okay.
Because the hierarchy is God, family, and church.
Your God, man,
He says, look
lady, family.
how man, even in Timothy, he talks about, look how he takes care of his family when you're looking for him to be in a position.
Right, you can't be a man that wanna.
Okay, so what you taking a shot for?
Be red.
You right here?
Red.
Oh.
Clearly,
Now why he taking a shot? Now y'all ain't telling me.
You got it right.
Yeah, you got it right.
That wasn't no right or wrong.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was
what
you
you
answered.
answered.
You
What you
answered. You answer.
They finna get real now.
Yeah,
Yeah, you are.
we out.
Go ahead.
Who is the first person God took to heaven with
Without
seeing them?
Without seeing death.
But he got, I don't know, but
You read between lines.
Without seeing
Yeah,
them.
first person he took to heaven. He came back too now.
But you talking about coming back.
Yeah, he did come back.
You said without seeing death.
Yeah,
Without seeing
he got a set time to leave and a set time to come back. They were waiting on him when he came back.
Well, y'all put that question a little different. You said you came back waiting on.
I was just giving you a hint.
How you put it?
who is the first person
Go
he
off
took
the
to
go off
heaven?
the question.
Yeah, go off the
she
question.
asked. Yeah, go off the
The
question.
first person that went up to heaven.
That God took to
Without
heaven.
seeing death.
I'm gonna give you one more hint. This is one of the guys they took out of the Bible.
Guys, they took out the Bible. You messed me up with your question and how you asking me that, because I know the first one went, and I know the one that went came back. I know the one that went about 5. I know the one. Y'all help me a little bit. I'm gonna have to take a shot, I guess.
Take
This is
a
the
shot.
first one.
Take a shot. You gonna know soon as I say it.
The first one was.
He took it.
I took my shot.
Let's say yeah one
He
time
got
for the
it
show.
yet.
Oh yeah.
Okay. The answer is Enoch.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I thought you were leading to, but
Yeah.
the Book of Enoch.
Yeah, they took him out the Bible.
Now, have you read that book?
Parts of it.
You gotta read that book, man.
That's the book that talk about the fallen angels and all that stuff there. Making the kids, making the giants and all that. All the books talk but if you think about it, every religion speaks of the flood. Every religion speaks of the flood, man.
Why you think they took that part out the Bible?
Well, King James Version was written by a Roman. You have to understand the Roman culture. The way he presented the Bible, the Roman Catholics were actually those who actually negotiated us as Trans-Americans slave back. So a lot of folks don't even know that King James was like that.
Right.
That's why we have Buckingham Palace. That was his
Playground.
yeah, his mate. No, Buckingham was his mate.
Right.
That was his partner. As it is presented, it was presented in a way to wipe away some of our history, and yet control the mindset. But there's enough there to still lead you in the manner that you can grow and be productive.
So what I don't get about people, man, everybody know that our history has been wiped away or tried to be wiped away completely. And people don't, when people find out the truth and go do research on their own and they try to, tell others what they found out and what they've learned, a lot of them don't want to hear.
Yeah.
A lot of them want to continue with this brainwashed mentality and oh, I'm good over here, boss.
Yeah.
They giving me this, I'm alright. Type, nah, man. Like we're trying to open eyes, trying to get you to see what's going on. Why you feel like people want to stay in that state of which the masses want us to be at?
So the children of Israel, when Moses led them out of the promised land, said that, why did you leave us out here to a place with no grave? Did you bring us out here to die? And so they were saying that, look, we had it better when we had bread every day, we had food to eat every day from the master's table. You always will have some people that are in denial because of their spiritual growth, right, their immaturity. And so when you don't have a connection, then you always will have little faith. So if you haven't been taught, then that there's a different way. And the problem is, a lot of times we get caught up in tradition, and that tradition, one of the songs we sing, "A charge to keep I have, with God to go." Y'all say it was a charge. But there's a verse that to serve this present age, my calling to fulfill. When we look at how the world's not on our side. Egypt represents the world, the world of sin. And so when we understand that when we're in the world, and we're in the world, but we're not of the world, until you understand that, you always live in the world, because man born of woman is but a few days of trouble. We all were born in sin. We all, but that's where he talks about a new birth. And then it has to be a renewing of our mind. How can you renew your mind if you haven't been digging in history and digging in who you are? Right. Learning different ways.
But ask you a question though, man. This is off script. What you gave in preacher, do you believe in aliens?
Yeah.
So that's kind of, but aliens kind of contradict the Bible. You know how things go. Because, you know, the Bible says it's affirmative.
He's talking about how he created the earth.
Yeah, and the waters above and the waters below. And the firmament separated. So if we got a firmament, how is it alien?
So how do you actually, what's the logic behind Mars and Saturn and the universe?
Made up. I seen, I just read some shit they had show how easy it is to trick people with them images.
Well, you know, I don't believe we've been to the moon.
That's what I said. Is like the first thing I seen when I seen the moon land, I asked who took the picture. If he was the first nigga standing on the,
you know, that's what Dick Gregory said. You know?
yeah, you the first nigga standing on, you put your foot on the moon. Who took the picture?
Well, my thing with that is, how come we haven't been back?
And then it's another thing. The ocean. The ocean was, they started exploring the ocean was 1930, 40, went on. Completely just dedicating time to, not this was NASA. And now in 2014, they completely stopped. Why you think that?
They said 10 billion, there's some fossils that are 10 billion years old. So,
Yeah.
I mean, what we have is very limited. That's why you can't, I refuse to limit God to just being boom. I mean, there's no, because we had angels.
Yeah.
You know, Satan was the angel that fell from heaven.
Yeah, in the book of Enoch, they talk about it.
And so when we look at how we box God in, we box our spirituality in, I never take away the what if.
Yeah.
Now my background is physics. That's what I went to school for. And so, you know, even with physics, it talks about how the atom splits in the Big Bang Theory, and then they talk about in biology the theory of evolution.
I don't believe in that.
So when did the atom stop splitting to where we stopped evolving?
That's why I said I don't believe in that. It's just too many small details to the human body to
But you gotta learn.
Yeah, you gotta learn it, but you ain't gotta know it.
You gotta know it, because it's like playing chess and checkers. If you don't know how they're coming at you, how can you actually play the game that they're playing? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I know that scientific crap they were talking about with evolution comes from monkeys and frogs and all that. That's false. Because our body too defined. We got too many small details.
But is that a distraction of
That's a distraction.
who you press to be?
That's a distraction.
You let that throw you off of who you trying to create and who you trying to be while you're here.
Now, I'm gonna agree with you when you say that the tongue is the most powerful thing. You know, I believe in manifest. I had to manifest myself to be handsome, bro. I want handsome always. You know what I'm saying? I had to manifest.
Go in the mirror right now and do a little more.
I had to do a little work, man. Get myself together, man. You know. But now we're gonna get back to the question, man. Okay. From the show Family Matters, you aware of that?
Mm-hmm.
What is Steve Urkel's middle name?
I don't have a clue.
Just say yak for me, man. I know. Yes, sir. I ain't know either. His middle name Quincy. His middle name Quincy. I ain't know either, man. I watch every episode. I ain't never heard nobody say Quincy to him.
Me neither.
It's on me,
Yeah.
Okay. So, who is the original creator of rock and roll?
Rock and roll. What's my guy with there?
Ain't no guy. You give you a hint. Ain't no guy.
I know I have a clue because ain't no rock and roll fan. So
Yeah.
Me either, but
He a Google fan though. He a Google you in a minute. He a Google you in a minute.
my surprise,
Yeah.
I thought it was like Chuck Berry or something.
B.B. King was about it.
Well, I knew it was him,
No.
but it's a lady named Sister Rosetta Tharpe.
I don't have a clue.
Never
They said
heard
she rock and roll. She started with gospel,
Mm.
and she started.
So you can get rock and roll from gospel?
Man, music came from.
See, I thought it was
gospel.
my man saying Tutti Frutti, old Rudy. What his name is?
Richard.
Yeah, the
Little
Rich.
Rich.
Little Rich. He said Tutti Frutti on root.
A lot of music originates from gospel, though, bro.
Yeah.
You know, Ray Charles, he was doing gospel music, but making it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It just got this. It sound like just got all gospel music sound the same. They all got the same beat.
Well, gospel and blues usually carry the same
Same beat.
same beat, same rhythms, and same meters involved.
Yeah, every time. That's why, you know, especially blues, that's why I know I'm a blues fan. Because the only way you can tell the difference in a blues song is if you listen to the words. And then all the words down there the same. Because everybody,
You don't listen to
I
the
think that's all music nowadays.
yeah.
That's music. Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with good music?
What's some of the new artists you listen to these days, buddy?
What, hip hop?
Yeah, just any new artists that you
New
do
one?
now.
I listen to, what's my boy Boosie?
Okay.
And I think the new ones.
That new to you, yeah.
What my boy, I like the, Not Like Us.
Kendrick Lamar. Yeah.
Not Like Us.
Yeah, that's how you gotta say these days, you know what I'm saying? Someone go
I
crazy.
use that in the sermon. I like
So you a Kamala Harris type. You want to use Not Like Us in the sermon.
Yeah.
Speaking of Kamala Harris, who you voting for, man?
Of course, there's only one vote for us.
Donald Trump.
No, you can't vote for anybody like that, man.
Why?
He's looking out for himself and himself only. He's looking out for the white.
And so who Kamala looking out for?
Well, she's actually presenting a platform with a plan. There's a difference. He's trying to get out of jail.
You heard what you heard is on platinum. You did platinum plan. You heard the platinum plan.
What the 2025 whatever the little thing to take us back using Christianity evangel what do we call them?
Evangelist.
The evangelism, whatever they call them. That's they're using scripture and all that to try to
Like they did in slavery, they trying to redo it.
Yeah.
But they definitely used scripture in slavery to, you know what I'm saying, confine you.
Would you let him run your business?
Who, Donald Trump?
Would you let him run your wife? Would you let him run your household?
Not my house, man. You can run my business all day.
He comes
How?
for.
Why?
Because his background, that's just like if somebody told me.
He bankrupt every business.
I would say in 6 months, he gonna probably better took your business from you.
No, it is.
He set up every business and he bailed out on the business after getting what he wanted. Right now, he's taking the money from the Republican campaign and actually funding his business from it. Everything that he does it's about him.
Yeah.
You know, there's no morals, there's no nothing.
So you feel like the Democrats is for, even though they
let me say this. I'm neither really Democrat or Republican.
Mhm.
But if we have two in America, which I think is our downfall. You gotta understand, you gotta listen to the platforms. It's not a popularity contest.
Yeah.
This man he's a convicted felon 34 times.
Yeah.
Now, I taught at the jail last year. And everybody said, oh man, he released us, he dropped the charge and all that. Yeah, but he sure did kill 13 before that last month, before he got out of office. Look at this platform. If you really want to help us out, you drop all these marijuana charges that we have and just possession of all these people in prison. You take that away, then you take the check felony box off of your applications.
Yeah.
And you're looking at somebody that actually had when they had the PPP loans. I worked for the Small Business Development Center. I actually had them to go back and review because entrepreneurship is the only way that you're actually going to prosper in this land when you got to check a felony box.
Right.
But they won't give them PPP loans to those that had felons and they had already done their time.
And what I'm saying is that I agree with you 100%. If Donald Trump wins to be the president, it shouldn't be no amount of it except violence like rape and all that stuff that you belong in jail for. Murder, rape, fucking with children, you belong in jail. But all that other stuff, like, it shouldn't stop you from getting on job. If the president can be the president for 38 felons.
Let me help you this. If he's able to run, that means he's applied for the job.
No.
and you're taking it into consideration, then that changes the whole game. But that don't mean that because he's able to run, that he's the right person to lead this country.
But see, he once did it before.
And he did a horrible job.
I think about how Obama had messed it up though before he got there.
Obama ain't messed it up.
Messed it up.
Yeah.
Fixed it.
Okay. Well, you allowed the gays to start.
Let me use
They're
coaching
fixing.
for an example. Anytime you have a coach that did a bad job, the next coach got to come and try to clean it up. And it takes 2 or 3 years to actually before you can even begin because you got to clean out the
What he
infiltration
did,
that he did. You got to build a new morale, and you have the president doesn't have power. The House,
Yeah.
the Senate has the power.
Yeah.
And anytime you have a divisive vision, that's the vision. It's hard to actually paint a vision and actually put your plan of action. So if you got the offensive coordinator doing one thing, the defensive coordinator doing one thing, and they don't work together, guess what happens? You don't have a team that can win.
Okay, using coaching analogy. Say you come to a team. You just left a team. You know, your team wasn't doing good. The team you left, but all the things that you saying is the right things. So should we still hire you to be the coach, even though you sucked as a coach? But you saying the right things.
Happens all the time. So you got coaches that leave and broke all the rules, and they're able to get into jobs making millions. Whereas you have somebody like me that actually comes in and do the right things and do the various things that you're supposed to do to build a program. He's ostracized because he's doing it the right way.
Yeah.
So would you rather have someone that's building morale and building character and building a dynasty versus having somebody that's just trying to win it by any means necessary?
I ain't gonna lie to you, Alan. I ain't with Trump like that because I understand the concept of what he got going on. But I'd rather have Trump than come here because
Why is that?
like I just said, you instead of listening to what she's saying, check her background.
No. And check her background.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
See, what he's telling you is that he put so many in jail now. The ones what you just said that's supposed to be in jail, check the background, do your homework. Those are the ones she put in jail.
In the marijuana users.
The marijuana user, if it's against the law right now, then that's what it's got to be. You got to understand that. So what you got to do is, America's not going to change that law because they have so many of us incriminated right now.
Yeah.
And if you change that law, guess how many you got to release? Remember I said that there's $30,000 going to the prisons every year for a person?
Yeah.
So now you take away her right to actually take money from our school system, which only has $7,000, to build a prison up in 2 prisons. Give him 30,000 so he can keep us in jail. Our thing is on the local level in our Senate and the House. That's who we got to actually change.
That's who we need to.
Yeah. But we don't vote locally. We just want to vote
For the president.
and see. And that's our delegates are the ones. And see, we have time we put delegates on there. We don't even know anything about the delegates. They're the ones actually casting our vote. All right. So we got to understand. See, that's again we playing chess.
Yeah.
I mean checkers. When there's a game of chess being played.
So I say everybody in the state can vote today. Everybody in the state, every individual. And it's probably still going to be more votes than the electoral vote. See, that's what he's talking about. You got to vote the amount of people to get the major outcome. You know what I'm saying?
Votes before the beat.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people don't attend. Did you attend? I did. I know I did.
So we gotta get out and vote. We gotta get out.
That's why I said we the majority now. We the majority now because
They had us. They
Yeah,
tried to get us to vote.
Now her job was to do what? She was a prosecutor, a criminal prosecutor, right? So she did her job.
and she also evidence on innocent man. And after she was shown he was innocent, she didn't release it because I'm just saying, you know how females get in their feelings. She ain't want to be wrong, so she kept that man in jail.
So you boxing because of her gender?
No, I'm saying she ain't
That
want to
what
be
it sound
wrong.
like.
She ain't want to be wrong, so she kept this man in jail.
But a man would do the same thing.
No, a man gonna be like, oh, okay, I'm letting this man.
So Trump, the 6th in Central Park,
No,
took out an ad to make sure these brothers spent time in prison. Remember that?
no. But what they had did though.
They ain't do nothing. They didn't do a thing. They were accused because they were this color right here. He took out an ad. He had nothing to do with the law.
Yeah, nothing to do
But
with
he
nothing.
had a little clout of money. He took out an ad to make sure that we stayed in, that he stayed in jail.
Mm.
Right.
So when we do our scales and balance, we actually got to do our just
Yeah,
homework.
everybody ain't perfect though. Everybody got something going on with them, you know.
But we'll be at war within a few months because that'd be a distraction to keep him out of being in trouble.
Yeah. Always.
We're gonna be a war anyway. I already, you know what I'm saying. But I had seen some other stuff. You know, you heard Russia got ships in Cuba and submarines and stuff like that down there in Cuba. But they say that it's something. They call something in the ocean. They ain't finna attack America. It's something going on in the ocean. All the marine life beaching themselves, sharks attacking more rapidly than normal. Like it's a lot going on. So how you feel about that? The marine life acting different and beaching themselves.
Ain't no beach around my house. That's beyond my control. You know what I'm saying?
You on your patio, you
ain't on my patio. It ain't bothering me over there.
It's going on around the
Because
world.
that's bigger than anything I have reached to.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Okay, so the last question of the game.
Okay.
What animal was cursed and served as a reminder of a fall man? Or the fall man?
Actually, it's the serpent.
Okay. That's right.
But the serpent has a bad rap because of that.
Because
Black folks don't fool with snakes now.
I'm talking about, I don't even.
I don't care, a tree snake, a frog
Whatever type of
snake.
snake it
But
is.
watch this. He used the snake as a pawn to get to Eve. Because if he knew that God said, Adam would say, hey, you created this good thing for me. She's fine, she's everything out here to lift her fingertip. You created this good thing. So the devil used trickery and actually used the serpent to go and talk.
So what about, do you believe that Lilith, you heard of her?
And who?
Lilith. You know, heard of her? They say she was the woman before Eve. Say she was both Adam and Lilith were both made from the dirt, like they say, but she wanted to lay beneath Adam. So God put Adam into a deep sleep and made Eve from his rib. And then that's why women automatically drop their head when a man, you know what I'm saying, get into that mode, like, hey, women, you know, because it's just biological.
I don't know about that. I think that's cultural more so than biological.
Yeah. So white women don't do it.
I think it's cultural. I'm not saying there's a black culture. I think it's cultural because when you read the Bible, you're reading the cultural times of the Bible. So like we having a conversation right here, you always got to remember them four, who, what, when, and where. What is the situation? Because y'all might overhear me and him talking about something and take it and run with it and not understand the context of what we really talking about. We might be talking in code. And so you really have to, when you read the Bible or anything else, you got to understand the culture of the time. When they say women not supposed to speak, have a voice, that was the culture of the times during that particular situation.
Yeah.
And so now we'll take that woman. The woman can't be no president because she's emotional. She don't have a voice. She's not. And so we take God and we're putting women now in a box.
True. Women been in the box since we've been on earth.
Man been in the box too.
Women been in the box ever since that, what you was talking about with that serpent. They've been in the box ever since then, that serpent.
But was it her? Because who had the direct instruction?
Adam.
So how you gonna put it on Eve?
Because that's the only weakness a man got is the woman, right?
What did God tell him?
When did he tell him?
What did God tell him? Don't be over there eating.
No, he told him that.
So how you gonna put it off on somebody else when you got the direct instruction?
Yeah, you're right.
If I'm on my job and the boss comes and tells me to do this, you gonna let somebody else come and tell you don't do it?
But what you had just said before that, she's so fine,
She's
gave
so
it to me.
So that's trickery. He knows what you like.
Yeah.
That's temptation. He been in this battle way before we even. You remember he was the one that was falling from heaven. Kicked out of heaven.
Yeah.
Right?
But why? Tell her why.
Oh, because he wanted to be not even, I don't want to say like God, but he wanted to be even with God.
He wanted to be
He
even.
had the best job as the praise and worship. He was the choir. He had it all together, but he wanted more.
Why do you think the Bible got God, the God of the Bible, killing over 600 people, but it never said the devil killed one.
I see where I was going to lead. I thought you were going to lead. Said, with Exodus talking about thou shalt not kill.
Yeah, but then you got
That's why I thought you was.
yeah, but then you got in the Bible, God killed over 600 people.
Why was he killing those people at that time?
Well, I know one particular time I know for
And
certain.
who was he killing?
Okay, one particular time I know for certain that it says about, I think it was Kings, one of them, King Second, something like that. He sent 2 barrels to kill, 30-some children because they called Elijah daddy bald head.
So why did they in warfare you have two sets of people? If you allow, matter of fact, let's use David and Goliath.
Mm-hmm.
All right, David and Goliath, right? All right, David, number one, couldn't fight with nobody else's armor.
Mm-hmm.
He had to fight with what he knew, right? Why did he have more than one stone?
I don't know. One stone, all it took.
One stone all it took, but why did he have more?
Preparation.
Because he had some brothers. Goliath had some brothers, and you know if I take your brother out, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Retaliation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, in order for me to kill that disease, I got to get all of that disease out the camp. So I got to destroy that camp in order that I have survival. Other than that, there's always gonna be retaliation. You got to take away the sin and the evil.
Yeah. Isn't that's kind of like impossible, huh?
And it's not impossible. So let me ask this, because he talks about letting the wheat and the tare grow together in Matthew, right? So what that means is, he says, let them grow together, because if you got a strong foundation, your foundation or your roots will uproot the tare or the weeds.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So when you have a strong foundation, you know, yeah, y'all can do what y'all want to do, but I'm still gonna overcome. I'm still gonna do what I'm supposed to do because my foundation is strong. He said, be planted like a tree by the rivers of waters. I gotta have strong roots, strong foundation. And then, you know, he was trying to keep us in line because we like the lust. The grass is green on the other side.
Oh yeah. But what angels came down here?
Speaking of angels, man, I think we may have touched on it a little bit, but when we was talking about Satan and fallen, Satan was around and about before Adam and Eve, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, how did they get in heaven? How did those angels get in heaven if Adam and Eve were supposed to be the first people?
There was already, you know, angels are different than people. They don't have free will and all that. They're kind of what the devil was mostly upset about when God created Adam and Eve. So that was kind of the straw that broke the back for real.
You know the difference between, he said, what is man that thou art mindful that made him a little lower than the angels and higher than the animals. The difference between animals is animals act upon instinct. Man has free will. And so that free will is what he gives us in order to make a choice whether I'm going to live for him or I'm going to live a life full of sin.
Right. I got you a little tricky to me.
You know, that angels, I think the angels was already there when he created Adam and Eve.
Yeah, you had different angels, all of them had different roles to play, but Lucifer had a role that he wanted to be just like, you know, God himself. So,
But I
And
still don't know why.
jealousy.
You still didn't tell me why Exodus, like you said, say no killing, but God killed those 600 people in the Bible.
what was he trying to do? What was he doing with the flood? He killed them in the flood, remember?
I can understand the flood because of the giants and Nephilim and all that.
Now, what was the real reason behind the flood? Why was
The Nephilim, the giants.
he was tired of the paganism.
Yeah. What about the kids though, man? He said the
Paganism. You let the kids grow, and they got
gonna
the
do the
seed.
same
They gonna do the same
Okay.
thing because that lineage, that generation is like I said, the brothers. You let one brother die, you kill one brother, you got to deal with the other four or five.
Yeah, I get it.
So now you got to wipe them all out.
I get it. So
These are the times now. You got to remember the times.
The times, yeah. That's why I say a lot of the stuff in the Bible don't apply to today's time.
It applies its imagery and illustrations to teach us lessons that we don't make the same cycle of mistakes.
Okay. I got you. So man, we're gonna over this number will be open the floor for our guests to be able to tell people where they can find you, social media handles and all that. But you can do that, or you can let them know where your church is, what your church got coming up, different things like that.
Matter of fact, second Sunday we have Family and Friends Day. We invite all y'all to come. It's 1200 South Pole Street at St. Mark Baptist Church, right there in the historic district, right, one block off Decatur Street from where Alabama State is. So you take a right on Burton from Decatur Street, and you see the church sitting right on the hill. My social media is simply Allen F. Bowen. I think my Instagram is Coach Bowen. I think.
I tagged you in something. I don't remember what the actual handle was though.
But I'm easy to find. I sell Mercedes over at Jack Eagle Mercedes right now.
Okay, discount, real by real.
What time that Family and Friends gonna be?
9 a.m.
Okay.
Coach Dandria Evans, Minister Dandria Evans used to be a coach over at, he played for played for Carver. He cut me up, I said it was never, even though they joined together now. He played for Carver, played for Troy, he's a legend, from Mount Gilead. He's going to be there at 9 o'clock.
Okay. All right. Well, man, second Sunday, man.
9 o'clock.
We are, just want to let you know we here to uplove you, man.
Yes, sir.
My man here reached out to you to get you on, man, but having you here, man, I appreciate you being here. I like the things you got going on. I like your story, man. Just here to tell you to keep going, keep pushing, man, keep grinding. We just here to uplift you, man. Just keep going, man. Do your thing.
All right, we appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate y'all having me here.
Yes,
No
sir.
problem. My pleasure.
A little church for the ones that didn't make it today.
Just a little bit. just a little education. You know what I mean?
You know the thing about it,
Education.
you gotta come with questions. You gotta, the questions should make you go back and start. I tell people all the time, just don't listen to me and believe me.
Go look.
Just stay for
Read
yourself.
with that Bible and go look and then come back and let's debate it, because you might see it different that might help me.
Right.
Nobody knows it all, because it says ears haven't heard and eyes haven't seen. His ways are not like our ways, so we all got to grow together and learn together.
For sure. Well, man, y'all, we had another good one, man.
Yes, sir.
I am the Chuckster, man. I'm here with my people.
Keep it bread one more time.
Yeah, it's J.O.
Yes, sir. Pastor Allen F. Bowen
Mm-hmm.
in the building, man. We'll catch y'all next week, baby.